What's up, guys? It's Adam. It's been a long time since I did a video. Thought I'd do this video today to kind of give an update of all my projects, what's going on with Flex Studios, and kind of just give you a quick overview of current projects and past projects. So the first thing I want to talk about, let's get the elephant out of the room, is going to be Rise of Strangers. So I will be actually putting this on the Kickstarter for Rise of Strangers. And I kind of want to give an update of what's going on with Rise of Strangers. I get asked quite a bit, like, what's going on with Rise of Strangers? Are you going to ever do that game? Oh, you're doing this game now instead of that game, et cetera, et cetera. And I understand your frustration. And that's why I kind of want to do this video today to kind of address that specifically and bring it right up to the front of the video. So for those who are interested in just Rise of Strangers, this is your portion. So Rise of Strangers, no, it's not canceled. I know it's been, 6 years since I did the Kickstarter, around 6 years, if I recall correctly, and it's still not out. Why? The biggest reason why I would say is because my vision for the game is massive. The quality I want to do, the style, the artistic style, the graphics. I want it to be as close as possible to games like The Quarry and the people that do that with really realistic animations, very cool storyline, very atmospheric environment. And just until recently, with the release of Unreal Engine 5, it wasn't really that possible for me to do it as an indie developer. Now, with the release of Unreal 5, and we have the Unity HDRP, it's a lot more possible. Now, with that being said, the biggest problem and the biggest delay of Rise of Strangers is the budget. I simply just cannot afford to do the game right now. I'm estimating it's going to cost me anywhere from, no, this is complete ballpark number, $500,000 to about $1 million to hire this very, very skilled animation team in Montreal, Canada. I would like them to do. They did work with Master Deception, but for something in the scope of Rise of Strangers, the pricing is going to be massive. It's simple as that. So when will Rise of Strangers come out? Well, I'm working on that right now. I'm working on creating products to help develop more capital for Rise of Strangers. I do not want to do another Kickstarter or a fundraiser for Rise of Strangers. I learned my first lesson around this time, and I kind of dropped the ball on this Kickstarter. And I kind of want to mend that right. So with that being said, I am still to this day offering refunds for anyone who donated to the Kickstarter. Contact me on Kickstarter, and I'll see if you pledged, and I will issue a full refund. Now, with that being said, if you want to stick around, you're more than welcome to, because the price of Rise of Strangers, once complete, will probably be about $30, I'm thinking. So we will see. But I'm very excited to eventually get to that project. As I said, it is definitely my opus magnum, or however you say that, of a project, and it's going to be what really determines the name of Reflect Studios. This is going to be the flagship game. So to kind of recap, no, I have no idea when the game will be done. Working on ways to generate more revenue for the game. The game has been through numerous iterations of different environments and characters that I've paid for way past the Kickstarter amount. And it's still not there yet. And that's pretty much all I have to say about Rise of Strangers. If you feel that like it's unacceptable, I completely understand. And if you're a Kickstarter backer, please go ahead and reach out to me on Kickstarter and we'll get you a full refund. So there's no hard feelings or financial tie between the two. So now let's talk about Master Deception. So as some of you know, I launched a new game back in August. No, before August, it was June or July, early this summer. I launched Master Deception, which is a multiplayer, 6-player horror experience, which is a hybrid of Phasmophobia and Among Us. The launch of that game and the game in its current state is very poor. I made a lot of mistakes with the game that I've learned from. I'm happy with it. I think it's a great game, but as you can tell, the market determines and the market disagrees with that statement. So I kind of want to touch base with what's going on with Master Deception. Currently, it's just chilling. It's in the back burner. It's not going anywhere. I managed to migrate the dedicated servers to a much more affordable solution. So I'm not taking the game down, but it's not going to get much updated until there's some sort of player base to support it. There's a very loyal and dedicated player base that do play the game about a few times a week. So I'll definitely keep the servers running for them. With that being said, what did I learn from Master Deception? I think the biggest mistake that I made with Master Deception was upon release, the game was just too difficult for the average gamer to kind of just jump in and play the game. I think it wasn't intuitive enough. The documentation I did have was a manual that you'd have to read. No one wants to read. So that's one of the biggest mistakes I made, was making the game too complicated. Terrible documentation on how to play a game. Nothing was integrated into the gameplay. There was no tutorial. I think that was a big damaging factor. Number two, I think the game requiring 6 players to even start a match was definitely something that hurt the game's progress. I made the mistake of kind of approaching it with like a more popular format like League of Legends, et cetera, et cetera. But then I have to remember that in this category of like horror and kind of niche market, getting 6 players is difficult. I also made the mistake of making it more public, where you play with random people. And I learned that a lot of people do not feel comfortable playing with random people, which makes a lot of sense. So some things I learned from that. I think another mistake I made was not having a good enough player base to play the game before I launched it. I had probably 20, 30 people play the game as a beta tester. But the issue was that it was loyal players to my Discord server at the time. And when they played it with me. So I kind of just held their hand and showed them how to play it. So I didn't really give them a good understanding of jumping into the game without me there, and having them go through the experience of playing the game as a new player outside of that group. And I think that was a big mistake of trying to make the game easier to understand and play. So with those 2 games out of the way, I want to talk about my current project, which I'm very excited about. It is the next chapter for Welcome to the Game. It's called Welcome to the Game, the beta program. It's been in progress now for a few weeks on and off. It's going to be a multiplayer co-op 1 to 4 player PvE experience, meaning that you could play the game by yourself, or you could play the game up to 4 friends of yours. So right off the bat, I'm learning from the mistake of having 6 players only to 1 to 4 players. The game is going to be very intuitive and follow the Welcome to the Game format. The way it's going to work is that you or up to 3 of your friends, totaling 4, are going to go into a map. Inside that map, there's going to be hidden terminals that you have to go to and hack. The hack challenge is either going to be you're browsing deep websites, or you complete a hacking mini game. And upon completion of that, you're going to get a key. And that key you store on like a USB access key, I'm calling it. And once you collected all 8 keys, you can escape the map. So while you're searching for those keys, hacking those terminals, there's going to be a threat or threats that have been determined yet after you. Those threats are going to be characters such as the Noir, Tanner from Scrutinized, the Breather, Lucas, aka the Hitman, and so forth. Now, what I learned from Master Deception, I'm going to apply to Welcome to the Game, the beta program. Biggest thing being, again, 1 to 4 players. 2, I'm going to make sure that the game is very intuitive when you'll be able to jump into the game and learn how to play the game quickly without reading a bunch of text. 3, I'm keeping the price of the game very low. That price being $5. Welcome to the game. The beta program will be $5. Why? Because I want to keep the entry price for this game very low for the average gamer consumer, for them to experience the game, play it for a little bit, then they can dispose of it without thinking of this wasted $20-something on a game. Very low entry price. Now, with that being said, I'm going to have a lot of great mechanics in the game where the players are a little more dedicated to the Welcome to the Game IP. There's going to be a hideout. A hideout's going to be the room, the lobby room, where you invite your friends or you set up the game. And there's going to be upgrades you can do to that hideout. You complete those upgrades by talking to a shady dealer inside the hideout. He's going to be selling access key upgrades and a bunch of other cool things I'm excited to do. Your character that you play as is called a candidate. So the candidates, to kind of touch into the lore, are aware that they're a part of this game. So the beta program, more lore stuff, is the catalyst to the eventual Welcome to the Game online. So the people that you play as are candidates, and they are aware of what's going on. Now, with that being said, they're going to have skins, and I'm going to also, later down the road, offer DLC for the game to monetize it a little bit further. That DLC content being either further map packs or cosmetic skins for the players to upgrade with. The upgrades for the hideout and items you use in the game are all going to be obtained with an in-game currency that you earn playing the game called DOS coin, obviously. So no real-life money will be used for DOS coin or upgrading your hideout, etc. There might be a DLC I offer for hideouts to expand it for like a game room where you could play poker with your friends. That's kind of on the back burner. It just really depends on what this game does. There's a lot of great things I'm doing with Welcome to the Game, the beta program. Very excited to do working on this. Since this project I'm going to be doing a lot myself because I kind of lost my ass with Massive Deception. So I'll be working on that exclusively for the next foreseeable future. The thing I want to talk about is that it's launched a Patreon. So if you're interested in supporting me and Reflect Studios and the projects I'm working on, please feel free to consider to subscribe to my Patreon. Inside the Patreon, you'll have exclusive access to devlogs, behind-the-scene access, Patreon-only Discord, direct access to me asking questions, and then you have opportunities to get custom Easter eggs with your name inside the game, and then you get early access to the game, and also you become a playtester. And if you get early access to a playtest, you obviously get the game for free. So that's a perk as well. A lot of cool things I'm doing with the Patreon. So if you're looking to support me, please join the Patreon. Link is down in the description. So the next thing I want to talk about is I do a lot of my updates and everything on Twitch and Twitter. Twitter is my primary social network. So if you don't already follow me on Twitter, feel free to drop a follow on Twitter there. I'll have a link down in the description. Twitch, I stream quite often of me working on my games on Twitch. So if you want to ever see game development, modeling, programming, texturing, just thought ideas, sound effects, the whole nine, I stream on Twitch, and I'll leave the link below. All right, so that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. Again, thank you all for watching, supporting me for all these years. Hope you guys appreciate the update and are excited about the new Welcome to the Game, the Patreon. Come on down, it's lit. And I'll catch you guys in the next video, which will be maybe 2 years. I don't know. I don't use YouTube much, guys, but thanks for sticking around. Leave a comment, leave a like, then leave a comment again, so the algorithm gods pick this up and display it. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Peace.